Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining part of chapter number 8. The chapter name is Winds, Storms and Cyclones. Class 7, Subject Science ncert. In the previous videos of this chapter we had seen some properties of the air, like air exerts pressure, then high speed wind are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Then after we had seen that air expands on heating and it contracts on cooling. And we had also seen that the warm air is lighter than the cold air. Then after we had seen that what wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. In that we had seen two situations, that is uneven heating between the equator and the poles and uneven heating of land and water. Then after we had seen about thunderstorms and cyclones, how this thunderstorm becomes a cyclone, what is the structure of cyclone, and what are the destructions which are caused by these cyclones. So now let me continue our chapter. So next topic is tornado. So tornado in our country, they are not very frequent. They are not usually, or they are not very happen. A tornado is a dark funnel-shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. In the next figure it is shown to you, and most of the tornadoes are weak. This is the tornado, picture of tornado is shown to you. It like a dark funnel-shaped cloud, and that reaches to the ground from the sky. It reaches to the ground from the sky. And a violent tornado can travel at the speed about 300 km per hour. And tornadoes may form within cyclones. From the cyclones, these tornadoes are formed, and the whole coastline of India is vulnerable to these cyclones frequently. We are facing these cyclones frequently, the coastline of the India, and particularly the east coast. And the west coast of the India is less vulnerable to the cyclonic storms, both in terms of intensity and frequency of these cyclones. That means the west coastline, east coastline of the India, like the state like the Orissa, they are facing the tornadoes very frequently, and the west coastline of the India, they are facing the comparatively less amount of cyclonic storms. And if they are facing that, then the frequency of the cyclones is also less and intensity is also lower. Now next is, what is the safety measures we have to take during this kind of situations. Before that, here something about the tornado is given to you, that the diameter of tornado can be as small as a meter and as large as a kilometer. It may be vary from 1 meter to 1 kilometer, or even wider than that. And the funnel of the tornado sucks dust, debris, that means trashes, and everything near it at the base due to the low pressure, and throws them out near the top. From the base they are sucked, that means they take the dust, then after trash whichever they find around its base, then after it throws them out near the top. And here are some few accounts of the survivors of the tornado is given to you. That means some survivors are there, they survive from this tornado. So what they are saying is given to you here. They talk about this on the Discovery Channel's Young Discovery series. So let me hear them. I saw the cloud coming and tried to take shelter inside. But as soon as I reached for the doorknob, the house took off into the sky, and I was not hurt at all. It's about one man is given to you. He saw that cloud is coming and tried to cloud is coming very speedily towards him. So he tried to take the shelter inside the house. But as soon as he reached to the doorknob or door of the house, so the house took off into the sky with this tornado. But however, he survived that, and he was not hurt at all. And after this storm, we had to clean the debris from the wheat fields. We pick up the splintered boards, that means broken boards and tree branches, as well as dead chickens with their feathers blown off, and the rabbits, they look like they have become skin. That means they found after this tornado, they found this all the trashes in their wheat fields. And the tornado shelter, one kind of structure is there, is a room which is situated in the deep inside the ground or underground, which has no any windows, or otherwise it is better to shut windows and take shelter under the table, workbench, where debris cannot reach. And one has to bow down on the knee, protecting head and neck using arms, like this one. If you are stuck between this kind of situation, then you have to take a shelter in a room which has no window. Otherwise, if it has the windows, then you have to shut the windows, and you can take the shelter under the table, workbench, and you have to sit like this on the knee and protecting your head with and neck using your arms. Now let me see what are the effective safety measures we have to take. So cyclone forecast and warning service. So this should be there. Then after rapid communication of warnings to the government agencies and the ports, fishermen's, ships, and to the general public, it should be happen. Then after construction of cyclone shelters in the cyclone prone areas and at the administrative arrangements for moving people fast to safer place. This should be taken during this kind of situation. The construction of cyclone shelter should be there in the cyclone prone areas, that means the area which are frequently facing the cyclones. So in such kind of areas there should be cyclone shelters, and the administrative arrangement should be there to move the people fast to the safer place. Here the picture of the tornado is shown to you, and here this one about anemometer is given to you, that we have learned that all storms are low pressure system and wind speed plays an important role in the formation of storms, and it is therefore important to measure the wind speed. The instrument which is used to measure the wind speed is called anemometer. Here it is given to you how it's look like. These two are the different anemometer which are used to measure the speed of the wind, and also it shows the direction of the wind. Next is action on the parts of the public. What people have to do during such kind of situation. So we should not ignore the warnings which is issued by the meteorological department through the TV, radio and newspaper. If such kind of situation will be there, then the meteorological department, they are giving the warning through the TV, radio and newspaper. So we should not ignore such kind of warnings. Then after, we should make necessary arrangement to shift the essential household goods, domestic animals and vehicles to safer place. And we have to avoid driving on the roads through standing water. If the standing water is there, and then we have to avoid the driving on such kind of roads, as floods may have damaged the roads. And keep ready the phone numbers of all the emergency services like police, fire brigade and medical centers. And some other precautions also. If you are staying in a cyclone hit area, then what you have to do? So do not drink water that could be contaminated, and always store drinking water for emergencies like this. Then after, do not touch wet switches and fallen power lines. It may conduct the electricity. Then after, do not go out just for the sake of fun. For the enjoyment and for the fun, in such kind of situation, you do not have to go out from the home. Next is, do not pressurize the rescue force by making undue demands. If you are stuck in such kind of places which is hit by cyclone, then the rescue force is there to save you. In such cases, you do not have to pressurize this rescue force by making unnecessary demands, and cooperate and help your neighbors and friends. In such kind of situation, if you can help, then you have to help your friends and neighbors. Now some advanced technology is there which help us in such kind of situation. So advanced technology has helped. These days we are better protected. In early part of the last century, the coastal residents may have had the less than a day to prepare or evacuate their homes from an oncoming cyclone. Nowadays we are better protected because nowadays we can predict this kind of situation, but in the early part of this last century, the coastal resident, that means the people who are living near the coast or near the sea, so they may have less than one day to prepare and to vacate their houses from and to save themselves from oncoming cyclone. And the world today is very different. Thanks to satellite and radars, a cyclone alert or cyclone watch is issued 48 hours in advance of any expected storm, and a cyclonic warning is issued 24 hours in advance. Because of the satellites and radars, cyclone alert and cyclone watch is issued before 48 hours in advance, and they can give the warning before 24 hours in advance. And the message is broadcast every hour or half hour when a cyclone is nearer the coast area. And several national and international organizations also cooperate to monitor such kind of cyclone related disasters. So now we are better protected from this kind of natural calamities. So here our chapter gets over. The hard words for these chapters are given to you here. First one is anemometer, next is cyclone, hurricane, lightning, then after next is low pressure, monsoon winds, pressure, thunderstorms, tornado, typhoon and wind flow pattern. So these are the hard words you have to write in your notebook. Now let me see the summary of this chapter. In this chapter we had seen that air around us exerts pressure. Then after we had seen that air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Next we had seen warm air rises up, whereas comparatively cooler air tends to sink towards the earth's surface. Next we had seen that as warm air rises, air pressure at that place is reduced and cooler air moves towards the place. Next we had seen that the moving air is called wind, and uneven heating on the earth is the main cause of wind movements, and the winds carries water vapor this brings the rain in the different regions. Then after we had seen that high speed winds and air pressure differences can cause cyclones, and it has become easier to monitor cyclones with the help of advanced technologies like satellites and radars. And self-help is the best help. Therefore, it is better to plan in advance and be ready with defense against these approaching cyclones or such natural calamities. And the following flowchart will help you to understand the phenomena that leads to the formation of clouds, falling of rain and creation of storms and cyclones. So now let me see the flowchart. So before first step in that is difference of temperature between two regions. Because of this temperature difference between two regions, it sets convection in the air of that two region, and as the result of that warm air rises and it creates low pressure area. So that's why the cool air converges to the low pressure area. The cool air rushes towards this low pressure area and warm air rises, cools, and water vapor condenses to form the clouds. After going upwards, it condenses to form the clouds, and the bigger water drops in the clouds, they cannot sustain the weight of the drops, so they fall to the ground as the rain, hail or snow. And the falling water droplets and rising air move vigorously or fastly to produce thunderstorm. And under certain weather conditions, storms may be developed into the cyclones. So this is how the cyclones form. So here our chapter gets over. In the next video we will see the textbook solution for this chapter. Thank you.